Good morning, everyone. This is Pastor Allen from the Garrison Church of God and also the Riverdale Community Church. I'm so glad you chose to join us this morning. This morning is a very special and important day. Probably you didn't realize how important this particular day is, but this is National Ice Cream Sandwich Day. And I bet you didn't know that ice cream sandwiches have been around for 121 years. I thought that was kind of an interesting fact. I have an ice cream sandwich right here, and I'm going to enjoy it maybe a little later, but it is a wonderful day to celebrate, especially on a warm summer like we've been having. It's great to be able to enjoy some ice cream. Ice cream is a wonderful thing, and the ice cream sandwich is a wonderful invention. Here in the United States, our ice cream sandwiches are generally made with vanilla, and it's sandwiched between chocolate cookies. However, in other parts of the world, ice cream sandwiches are made with all kinds of different things. Sometimes they're made with wafers. Sometimes they're made with a different type of cookie, sometimes a shortbread cookie. Very often the filling inside, or the ice cream inside, is Neapolitan or chocolate chip, or in the case in Malaysia, it's actually chocolate and vanilla. So there are a number of different ways in which ice cream sandwiches are enjoyed and celebrated around the world. I want to talk to you a little bit about the concept of worship today. The man Ethan, in the Bible, his name is Ethan the Ezrahite. He is the writer of Psalm 89. He talks about a lot of different things during that psalm. One of the things that he struggles with, and I believe that as you read the psalm, you can pick these things up, that he is writing right near the end of David's reign. The end of David's reign was a very difficult time. The last few years of his reign, David was having probably memory issues. We do know that he had severe circulatory issues involving his heart and involving his body temperature, core temperature. So there were a lot of problems that David was having. He had designated Solomon as his heir. But Solomon was only about 18 years of age at this point in time, and David's health was failing quickly. Joab, who was commander of the army, and Abiathar, who was the high priest, decided they could not wait to determine if Solomon was going to be a good leader. And they kind of wanted to control the leader that was coming on. So they threw their lot in with David's son, Adonijah. Adonijah was a handsome, able, intelligent young man, but he was not God's choice for the nation of Israel. Solomon was supported, of course, by his mother Bathsheba, but he was also supported by Nathan the prophet and by Captain Benaniah, who was the head of David's security forces. So there was a conflict, and the entire city of Jerusalem, from what we are told, was in a complete uproar during this particular time in history. That seems to be the background of Psalm 89. The writer of Psalm 89 reflects the difficulties and the struggles that are coming through at that particular moment in history. The other thing that is interesting about Ethan the Ezrahite is that this may be a pen name for him. It may not have been his actual name. Ethan means optimist or one who is steadfast. So it may well have been a pen name for a man. We know in 1 Kings there is an Ethan the Ezrahite in chapter 4 who is considered one of the wisest men in Israel at the time of David. Solomon, in fact, is compared to him as being wiser than Ethan the Ezrahite. So Ethan was a man of tremendous wisdom and leadership. Yet he struggled during this time with optimism and hope for the future. We all are caught up with those kinds of things. Ethan, in his wisdom, understood that there were certain things that we needed to do if we were going to be able to face the struggles that come at us in life, particularly those moments when we are struggling with being optimistic about the future. Optimism is not foolhardiness, nor is it a belief that everything is going right. Optimism is honest about the circumstances, but it believes that eventually things are going to come out okay. The only way we can do that is if we have a belief that is beyond ourself. Worship is central to that. Human beings, by their very nature, are worshiping creatures. We worship things. We worship either the heavens or deities we call gods, or we worship ourselves, or we worship the spirit of nature. We worship our ancestors. So we worship all kinds of things. We are made to worship. That is who we are and what we are. What will determine our ability to last through things is who we worship. And that is a choice. Believe it or not, we have a choice about that decision in our lives. Ice cream sandwiches began actually by a street vendor in New York City. We don't even know his name. We know what year he started selling them because the next year he had become so popular on the streets in the Bowery section of New York City that one of the newspapers in New York went out and did an interview with him to talk about this burgeoning business of ice cream sandwiches. They were made a little differently than they are now, and you'll have to come to church to find out why we have the particular type of ice cream sandwich in our culture that we enjoy. But I hope you'll come and find out about that. But one of the neat things about ice cream sandwiches is how they make you feel. They make you feel good about life and about circumstances. Biting into that cookie top and going through it into that nice cold ice cream on a hot day really makes a world of difference. By 1905, they were the most popular beach vendor item on the beach. In fact, the man who was making them couldn't keep up making them. And by 1921, there was actually an invention to try and help make ice cream sandwiches. So there were a lot of things that were happening, and this particular confection became extremely popular and still is very, very popular within our culture. I love ice cream sandwiches, so I can attest to that. Worship is ascribing value to something. Worship is ascribing value to a person or an item or a country or a nation. Worship is important in our lives. What we give ultimate value to is that which we worship in our lives. God is the one whom we must worship with everything that is within us. We can worship ourselves, and if we do, that becomes very frightening. It leads to a psychosis type of situation where we live in perpetual frustration with our own failures to live up to our standards of our deity, or we fall into psychosis, and in that process we plunge downward and do very evil and terrible things to the people around us and the world in which we live. We can worship nature believing that it is the most powerful thing in the world, that the forces of nature are to be deified and honored. But they are random and very often frightening forces. There is no sense sometimes in what they do, and they become frightening. The worship of polytheism is a worship ultimately of natural forces, of the forces that make up this natural world. And that is frightening because they are not to be depended upon. We only have to look at our world as it cascades toward insanity at times, to understand that in this chaos, to put our trust in that is not a good idea. We can put our trust ultimately in a Creator who is beyond this world, who made all that is. If we do that, then we will begin to take on the character of the one to whom we have committed ourselves. As Christians, we commit ourselves to Jesus Christ and worship Him. When you get to know Him, you find out He is wonderful on both the outside and as you get to know Him better on the inside. He is one who loves and cares, who strengthens, who leads and guides, who holds us accountable, who directs our lives by His Spirit, who watches over us, and who gives us His Holy Spirit as a guarantee of His presence. That is what makes worship so important. Ethan understood that worship was the beginning of the process. If you did not begin with worship, you could not be optimistic. And optimism is also dependent on who you worship. Do you worship Jesus Christ? Is He the one you depend on? Can you be confident in His power and His authority? If you can, I got news for you. It's better than an ice cream sandwich, but I still like ice cream sandwiches. So I'm going to have one right now. I hope you'll come and enjoy service today with us. You have a wonderful day. God's blessings on you.